Yo, this is Reggie Long. A lot of y'all know me from real tight, and I'm getting verified with TheC&PNetwork. So y'all go and like and subscribe, all right?
What's happening? What's happening? Back again for another episode of Verified with Cornell the Shooter on the TheC&PNetwork. You already know. If you subscribed, if you're following, I appreciate it. If you're not, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, and don't forget to turn that notification bell. All right. Today, I got another special guest. And when I say special, I mean a real special guest. Today, I'm sitting down with none other than Reggie Long. Brody, what's happening?
What's up? What up? What up? What up?
I can't complain. Should I say Reggie Long Sr.?
You just say Big Reg or something like, just say Big Reg or something like whatever. I don't know, man.
Whatever works. I dig
Yeah,
it.
whatever you
dig it.
comfortable with,
Real Tight's own Reggie Long.
What's up? What up? What up?
Man, it's a pleasure to be doing this interview with you.
It's a pleasure to be here. I appreciate you inviting me. And before you get started, I just want to congratulate you on your platform. Congratulate all your success. I see it rapidly growing, and I wish you the best. And I ain't gonna interrupt the interview no more. I just wanted to start off by,
man, I appreciate that.
Congratulating you and your platform.
No, that means a lot, honestly.
For sure.
Like deeply, that means a lot. I appreciate that.
Man.
There are many people who are familiar who you are. For those that are not familiar, let's get them adjusted to who you are, and then I'm gonna hit you with some hard hitting questions. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. Where exactly are you from?
I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Born and raised?
Yep. Yeah. Well, I was born in Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, but I was raised. That's just down the street.
Right down the street.
Yeah, right down the street.
Yeah.
I don't think that hospital same name. So yeah, but I was raised in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
That's what's up. What was it like growing up in Chattanooga?
It was. I mean, there's a lot of wild things happening. Chattanooga's a small city, so pretty much everybody kind of know each other. Had a. It's definitely. It's a lot of talent in the city, but it's hard breaking through like the industry. And when I say industry, I mean music industry. And the reason I bring that up is because a lot of people, especially in the hoods, they musically inclined, and that's what they go after. But I mean, it's some good sides and some bad sides, just like every other city. Yeah.
That's real. How would you describe Chattanooga as you was coming up to Coming Day, Chattanooga?
Well, see, I'm kind of a little bit older, so like, when I was coming up, everybody was more outside than on the inside. It was more basketball outside. It was more playing football in the yards outside. It was more, it's more outside, less video games. But you had your video games as well.
Right.
But you had your gangs just like you got now. It was more. It's more of a unification with the neighborhoods. A lot of people kind of tend to separate themselves from neighbors, and parents can't say too much to to the children because they get more offended. Whereas when I was coming up, your neighbor could tell you, uh, uh, you know, get back up the street, or if you're into something, parents didn't mind the neighbor getting on you because it was more unified like that. But turn this off. It's a lot of it's a lot of similarities as well. Like, I don't know, man. It's some differences, but it's about the same.
Right.
It's about the same. Like I said, this is a smaller city, so a lot of people know each other.
Even to this day.
Even to this day, yeah. So it's some similarities, some differences, but still the same.
What's a memory from your childhood that you'll never forget? Now, this could be positive, negative, just something that will stick with you forever.
Oh, that's a good question. A memory from my childhood I never forget. Me personally, when I just when I just think back and something just hit my mind, man, and a lot of younger folks ain't gonna understand, but If y'all ask somebody in their 40s about an MC Hammer concert, oh man, that that was one of my first concerts I went to. That sticks out. It was crazy. It was crazy. About 100 people on stage. Just the production, the lights, all of the lights hitting the clothing shining, the dancing. I mean, it was a crazy concert.
Right.
That's one thing that sticks out. But yeah, that concert and a New Edition concert, which is R&B group in the
Now, did they come here
80s
to
and
chat?
90s. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. A lot of concerts used to be at the UTC Arena. So like it's more like club atmosphere concerts now, maybe, like, arena like theater, like more auditorium concerts. But it was more so back then, it was arena field concerts when they came through. Like um the rappers, everybody pretty much had arena field concerts.
Right.
And that's just one of the ones that like stick out like to me.
That's what's up.
I mean, it's a couple of things like man. That's just one thing that stuck out when you said that.
Right. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, yeah. I got one older brother. He's 5 years older than me, and I got a sister that's 1 year younger than me.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
You was raised with both your parents living in the same home, correct?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
With having both your parents living in the same home while you were growing up, do you feel like that affected your upbringing any?
Yeah, most definitely. It it taught me how to move through my own relationship. It's easy to move through the good times, but it taught me how to move through the bad times, and how to compromise, and how to even to the point where if it's real petty and it ain't my fault, I can it taught me how to, again, compromise. And if the spouse don't come first, like, because it gets to the point you just want peace. So that kind of taught me how to, growing up in that environment taught me how to make it through the bad times. Also taught me how to um, raise my kids.
Right.
You know, it taught me what I needed to do, how much I needed to be, in their life, and communicating with them. So, and it taught me, um, I mean, it taught me just doing things together, handling business together, um, and just, pretty much everything as far as like togetherness and getting things done.
That's what's up. Um, your first involvement with music will come at a young age. In fact, you took piano lessons at 7 years old,
Yeah,
and at 9 years old, you wrote your first song.
yep, yep.
What was that experience like being so young, and writing your a song at 9 years old?
Um, but first of all, I didn't want to take piano lessons. My mama made me take piano lessons. Um, but when I started taking it, I found myself being tuned in, and the more, it was like once a week, and the songs that I got, it just, the more weeks went by, the more I wanted to learn them. You know what I'm saying? The more I got tuned in and interested, and I found myself like I didn't really realize I was like knowing music like that. Um, but man, let me turn this off.
You
So I'm
good.
sorry,
You good.
man.
You
I've
good.
been trying to like mute it, and play it off, but I can't. Let me turn it off. Nobody's texting me like that all day until I get in this interview.
It's all good.
But yeah, and when I wrote my first song, that was like kind of unconsciously. Like I just really just was just kind of singing to myself at that time. I didn't sing in front of nobody. I didn't even consider myself knowing how to sing. I just really unconsciously just was bored and decided to write a song. And I would nobody else knew I sung, but when I like talk on the phone with girls, I would kind of sing, you know what I'm saying, trying to kind of show out or trying to impress or whatever. And they would like it, but I wasn't gonna sing in front of nobody else because I didn't consider myself as a singer. I just consider myself just, I guess, just liking it,
Gotcha.
not thinking I'm gonna be into it like that. So I just, at 9 years old, I just wrote a song and just used it. Like I didn't record it, I just wrote it.
Gotcha. You still remember it today?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Did you ever record it?
I recorded it. I recorded it on, not in a studio. I recorded it. myself on it was like a kind of like an older recording thing, like a cassette tape, it was portable cassette tape thing. I just recorded it to keep the idea that I didn't know what I was gonna do with. Like I literally just recorded it in the tape on the cassette. Uh, and this is the late '80s
Right.
because I was like 9 in the late '80s,
Yeah.
and so I didn't have plans to be a writer. I just, like I said, unconsciously just recorded it like that. Yep.
Gotcha. Who were some of your early influences when it came to music?
Uh, early New Edition, definitely. That New Edition, Michael Jackson. Um, and I ain't gonna lie, I used to listen to Whitney Houston. Like Whitney Houston, man, she was, man. I used to listen to. I ain't want no fellas around while I was listening to, cause
Right. Of course. Yeah. Of
but
course.
I used to listen to. I listened to her, Michael Jackson, and my dad had some. My dad had some old school records that I don't know if he used to play them when. I guess he used to play them when I was a baby.
Right.
By the time I got to realizing they were there, when I was around that age, 9, 8, I start going. They were downstairs, and I started going to play them all the time. Then I found myself liking old school music, like older school music. Like
Gotcha.
I would listen to like the '70s, like the Commodores, the Lionel Richie, the Shy Lights, the Blue Magic, Marvin Gaye. Like I start really listening. Prince. I forgot about Prince, definitely. Like I start playing these records every day, and I believe that's another big influence. That's what started making me want to write more because I start liking these songs.
Right.
And I didn't know, none of my friends was listening to this older classic music like I was. So I didn't play it around them. I just every day went downstairs and I was playing this stuff. And that's pretty much I had it, but like I said, the influences of my age at that time, New Edition like was mainly the influence. Like I wanted to, when I kind of start thinking I wanted to sing, I wanted to sing like them. I knew every move on their routine. I started looking at all their videos, learning all of it, and I knew I wanted to be in a group too. After a little bit after that, I started realizing that I wanted to be in a group.
Gotcha.
I wanted to, but I again I wasn't singing at that time, and I didn't. But I was just going on with my life as far as school and all that, and just listening to music. All that stuff really didn't come till later. So
Gotcha.
at that time, that's what it was.
Main attraction,
Yes, sir.
who would later become real tight.
Yes, sir.
Uh, while in middle school, you would witness them performing, and the reaction they would get from the ladies, that would motivate you to want to be a part of a group.
Man, it was so crazy. Now, that's when I knew. Like, so Brainerd High School, which for people that's out of town, this high school here in Chattanooga,
Right.
which I graduated from, by the way. But at that time, they had a talent show every year, and although the group was in, they call it middle school now, it was junior high back then.
Right.
Man, I decided to go to a talent show, and it was 3 of them at that time. It was Danny Johnson, Bobby Torrance, and Lamont Solomon. And I went to the concert, man, and they called their name, and when they called their name, everybody started screaming. As soon as they opened the curtains, they started screaming, and I'm looking around like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not really even, like I said, I didn't go out that much. So at this time, this is my first talent show, and I'm just hitting middle school, but I just wanted to see who performed anyway. Man, they opened the curtains on them and they went crazy. And then they sung "Can You Stand the Rain?" Man, like they were hollering like Usher fans, man. The girls was just going crazy. And I'm looking around like, this what they get? This how it is? I was in awe, man. Like, I don't know if you've seen the Temptations.
Yeah.
And when David Ruffin first saw the Temptations, David Ruffin's in the stand just looking like, dang, I want to be part of it. Like,
Right.
I was the same. I'm in the audience just like, these dudes got every woman in here screaming, every girl in them screaming. I'm like, so I mean, they was like superstars to me. I ain't gonna lie. So like immediately, one of the guys became like Danny. Danny was like, Danny can go to the mall and they want his order. Now, mind you, he local. Like the group is local.
Right.
They can go to the
But they still in
mall.
school like yourself.
They in school. They can go to the mall. Girls want autographs. Girls from every part of the city wanted Danny. Like this dude was a local celebrity for real. Matter of fact, he sung in the club when he was 7 years old. Like this dude was like really known. He was popular. Made every superlative in junior high. Like most attractive, most talented, best all around. Like he made because he could play basketball too. But that's and so I kind of start putting myself trying to get in the mix. So after that in school, I started hanging around Bobby Torrance, which is in the group. Started wanting, and that's when I kind of start opening myself up to singing a little bit. Like,
Gotcha.
and so one day I'm in lunch, and after lunch, everybody go outside with called the courtyard, which is just a part of the yard until lunch is over. I was singing to myself, and a girl heard me, and she was like, "Ooh, that sound good! Hey, everybody, come over here!" Man, mind you, I'm shy. Like I'm scared to sing in front of. I ain't even trying. I was just singing to myself.
Right.
Man, the whole lunch came over to the circle. Man, I almost had a heart attack. But I knew I couldn't. I knew I was in a position where I couldn't say no. Like it was almost like I was in a corner. Like I was backed in the corner. I
Right.
had to sing. And so the song was called Two Occasions by The Deal. When when I sung the first sentence, they start screaming. And I kept on. And that's when I really don't want to say this because it's my partner, but well, it was my partner back then. And when he came behind me, and when he started singing, they kind of started laughing. Sorry, man. I'm just telling the story.
Right. We'll edit that later. I want to
Yeah,
hear it.
yeah. So my partner see it. I'm sorry, bro. But and so we stopped. After they kind of started laughing, that's when it was over. But now, like they telling me, complimenting me. I sound good.
Right.
I get by myself now. I'm like, oh, I got a whole nother mindset when it comes.
Right.
Now
Now you got that confidence.
yeah. Now I'm like, okay, so I start singing, recreationally with the group. And make a long story short, one day Bobby come to me and say, Danny's daddy, which was an amazing singer. He taught me, but he taught me more. But anyway, he wanted me to come over to Danny's house and hear how I sing, kind of like an audition.
Right.
And I sung. Make a long story, I sung, and like, okay. So the next day in school, Bobby came to me like, well, his daddy said we just gonna stick with 3. Like, we cool with the 3-part harmony. I was like, I was hurt like a motherfucker, but I was like, okay,
Yeah.
okay. The day after that, Bobby comes to me and say, Danny, daddy want you to come over again. So I went to the house and sung. So then he started working with me and working with vibrato and teaching me and teaching me when to make bravado and how to hold my tone. Because I could just hold a note. I wasn't like I said, I wasn't interested in trying to be a singer at first, but then it got serious. But anyway, I could hold a note, but then he started teaching me the dynamics of it. From that to every time we practiced, he worked with me after we practiced. And man, so it was 4 of us. And so now my first year in high school. Still hadn't sung with them. I just was practicing with them.
Right.
And the movie Lean on Me? Fairy Side. That's the first thing we sung at Brandon. When we got to the by the side, everybody started screaming. And then I sung in the talent show with them. And now it's main attraction. Now it's 4 of us. Now we're doing new audition moves. And now we known through the city. Now we just continue to build our name.
Right.
Um,
And then now it's 4 y'all.
yeah, but it's not the real tight 4 because we went through a couple of members
Okay.
before it became the last 4. The 4 real tight members as of now, 2 of them were in no, well, one of them was in another group, and then the one I hasn't mentioned, they were in the same group. Which after 4, we became 5 by the time I got like in my junior year. It was like 5 of us. Then one went to college, decided to leave the group and went to college. Now it's back down to 4. And well, okay, let me, cause the one original one that, cause it was 3 of them at first.
Right.
Then I get in this 4. Then it's 5, but then the first original, something happened. I want to tell this story, man. I'm gonna tell it. If you get mad at me, you get mad at the truth. But so I had a girlfriend. He was at that time, um, he was doing this thing in the streets. So we used to be over his house. Now I'm gonna say the story, but the guy, he was a great member, but this right here, I couldn't sing with him no more. So what happened? I used to be over his house, and my girlfriend at that time, which is still to this day my wife, but he went and told her a story of other females. She come to me about it, and mind you, we in a group, so like a brotherhood thing.
Right. Right.
So she come to me, fronting me about it, and I'm like, what? I said, that's what he told you. I said, okay. So I decided to call a group, and I'm like, I called all everybody on 3-way. I said, either y'all can put me out the group, y'all keep him, or y'all keep me in the group and put him out. First, I asked him. I asked him, why did he tell her that? And he did. He denied it. I said, nah, there's no way.
Right.
And so anyway, led to I said, I said, I don't believe it. So it led to me saying that, put him out, keep me, or keep me, put him out. So it was up to them, and I had to respect it. But
Right.
at that point, it hurt me, man. I had, to this day, I got love for the guy, and it's still like my brother. But that hurt, like that was, 'cause like I said, with brotherhood.
Right.
And so they kept me, and it was 3 of us, and then that's when we went and recruited another guy, and it became 4 of us. And
Gotcha.
then, actually, we recruited 2 of them, became 5 of us. Then one went to college, then it became the 4 of us, and it stayed that 4
Then that's
to
that's
this
the
day.
4 we know of now.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you said you went to Brandon High School.
Mm-hmm.
You did graduate.
Yeah.
You spoke of one of the members going to college. Did you have any aspirations to go to college?
Yeah, man. Yeah. You ask good questions, but
I appreciate that.
so now I'm really, involved, like deeply involved in singing and writing. Like that's now it's to the point now in my senior year to where we got a guy getting us like shows like downtown Chattanooga, Miller Park, just different places, different weddings. So it's like getting serious, and got to the point where every weekend, my father would let us use his van. He'd give everybody like $50, make sure we eat. Everybody $50 a piece, make sure we eat. Because we didn't have them. We didn't have jobs at the time. We were just trying to make it.
Right.
We would go. We find back then talent showcases was popular in Atlanta. That's what like a lot of
Right.
executives and producers would be at these talent showcases. And so we were just going down there every weekend. We hadn't got offered nothing at that time, but we was impressing and building our name. And man, meanwhile, I had done got a scholarship at Alabama A&M for choir. I just went down there and auditioned. Somebody, I forgot how I knew the person to go to, but I went down there and I could audition. Our choir won the state, first of all, and that grew our Brandon High Choir. It grew our name in different HBCUs because
Right.
it's a lot of scholarship offers that people don't really know. People don't know they get choir scholarships. They don't know about bowling scholarships.
I
Yeah,
didn't know that either.
man, they got
I
mass.
didn't know the bowling scholarship until young
Yep.
Polo spoke on it.
My my daughter graduates from Alabama A&M in December on a bowling scholarship.
Really?
Yeah, so 2 of my kids got bowling scholarships. Got free food.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, and so like they ain't know about choir scholarships, but I found out somehow. But anyway, I went to audition and got the scholarship, and got scholarship. Now at this time, I'm like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna work college in this group, but I really don't want to get rid of this group. I really don't want to not sing in this group, but I want to go to school.
Right.
So I went to the orientation. Um,
And
got
this is
my
in Alabama.
this out of Alabama A&M. You know, we had orientation before the fall started. You know, going down there. Got my dorm. Got my the guy who graduated with me. That was my roommate. Got everything together. Got my schedule.
Oh wow.
Supposed to leave August 29th, 1993. August 28th, 1993. Man, something just changed. My mind just flipped. I went in my mom and daddy room and told them, man. I said, can I talk to y'all? And we had a little company, so I closed the door. And I was like, I said, I don't want to go to school. I want to pursue this music thing because I feel like we're gonna get a record deal.
Mm.
And my pops, pops was like, he said, man, he said, go on that, close the door, man. So I said to myself, man, I know I done hurt him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I went out, closed the door. Then he called my name. About 2 minutes later, he called my name. I went back in. He was like, he said, son, I ain't gonna even lie. That's what you told me. That's disappointing.
Mm.
He said, but if that's what you really want to do in your heart, that's what you really want to do, you got my support all the way.
Mm.
So that just like that lifted everything off me.
I
Like
bet.
that lifted everything off me and just put me in go mode. Man, I didn't do nothing else after that. If it wasn't pertaining to music, I didn't do nothing else. Like to this day, that's why I love my lady, because she stuck with me through me putting a lot of attention into my music and not enough into you know the house per se. But at that time, like I said, and that's on the road. But like I said, at that time, nothing mattered to me but that group, and the group was the same way at that time. So we got together every day. We would practice all night. Um, we kind of older than that, so we were like at this time we 18, 19, 20,
Yeah.
drinking underage. Uh, but we got our beer, uh, and whatever we would practice all night. Whoever house would be over, we wouldn't leave. Most of the time we practiced, we probably started when it got nighttime, and we wouldn't leave no earlier than daybreak. Like the harmonists became so tight because of that. That's all we did was practice.
Right.
Didn't really have a lot of things to like specific songs. We would just sing every song we know and just develop our harmonies, even develop the places. Got to the point where anything we sung, everybody knew, like harmony wise, where they were gonna be. Like it just became automatic, man.
Dig it. Dig it. So after turning down your scholarship at Alabama A&M,
hmm
what was y'all's next move? I hear you say y'all was practicing, that was in 93.
Yeah, yeah.
You would get signed in 97. So that time frame between there, what was the plan to get signed?
So, and I don't, excuse me if I go too far.
No,
I'm
you
I'm,
good.
I'm trying to stick with the time frame of the questions you asking. So, but it's a lot. But so after that, that's when we started going to Atlanta, like more and more. It's a I, like a lot of younger folk don't know this guy, but there was a place where all the Atlanta rappers would go to that was trying to like even Jazzy Faye, like a lot of producers, like they would go to this rapper called MC Breed House. MC Breed is a rapper from Flint, Michigan. He's RIP Breed, but Tupac would go over his house. So many, and so we would he somebody that know him would see us at one of the talent showcases and let us meet him, and we sung for him. He had a label called Smoke One Records at the time in Marietta.
Okay.
Um,
I've heard of them.
yeah, and he had the label on the main street, but his house wasn't too far from it. But a lot of people would meet at his house and just network. And he
Right.
just allowed his house to be a home of networking. And I learned a lot of more stuff even after that I didn't see. I didn't even realize that that's what he was doing. I thought he was just inviting us over
Right.
because sooner or later we would get a record deal from him. But it was more than that. I found out later this guy just was wanting us to network, you
Right.
know. And so it got to the point where if we either going down to Atlanta every weekend for a talent showcase or just to go to Breed House. And it got to the point where when we had the car, we can just bus up.
Okay.
And he was cool with it. And then that connect introduced us to the same connect that introduced us to him. Now, this connect was in the talent showcase itself. He was a rapper. He was like, man, y'all want to go holler at Short? Too Short. Like I said, I don't know if young folk know Too Short, but
No, he still doing. He
yeah,
literally just dropped the album.
Yeah. So he had moved from Oakland to Atlanta, had a label called Dangerous Music in the studio in the West End in Atlanta.
Okay,
So
I didn't know that, but yeah.
Yeah, so he had a couple of artists. So he invited us to the studio, and we went to the studio, and one of his producers was there, and we sung for him. He immediately took us to the back, and we recorded 2 songs for Too Short album called Album Number 10. One song called Pimp Me and one song called Girl I Must Confess. It's on album number 10, which went platinum. And we still didn't have a deal then, but now we mingling with the stars,
Right.
and we
Right.
networking real good. And so this is what's going on following me turning down the scholarship. All this stuff going on. Every weekend is something. And then it got to the point, let me see, so now we get to the point where somebody introduced us, or somehow Heavy D brother finds out about us.
Okay.
And so he has us to fly to. He like we can sing for Heavy D, but he also he wanted to make a trip that's worth it. So the same guy's named Floyd. It's Heavy D's brother named Floyd. He also says that if it don't work out with Heavy D, I'm gonna take you out to Warner Brothers, and it was a popular club in New York called the Century Club that we went to. He said he wanted us to meet him there so we can like meet other stuff. That was the the primary spot in New York at the time. So we first meet Floyd at the Century Club, and man, it was nothing like it's basketball. It's New York, like Knicks players, rappers. It's nothing but stars there.
Right.
And so Floyd, tell us to go to the hotel. We're gonna go to the house tomorrow, which is Heavy D's house. Next day comes, he calls us, come get us. We goes to the house. Sister answers. Now let me tell you this story. It's another story. My boy gonna get mad at me. This is a group member. Yeah. So we go over Heavy D's house, and his sister answered the door. I don't know who all lives at this time. It's his sister, his brother. His brother sent the car. His brother didn't come get us. His brother sent the car. So when we went to the house, it's his sister, his brother, and his mom there. Sister answers the door. I guess she expected us. She was real sweet, had a lot of hospitality. Hey, you all,
Right.
real tight, right? Yeah. Come on in. Come on downstairs. Go downstairs, pool table. You're like, y'all relax, make yourself at home, play on the pool table, whatever. So his brother comes down, we down there just chilling. His brother comes down and says Heavy D, he's out of town, but he's gonna call in. So Heavy D calls, and Floyd introduces, and so he like, go ahead, fellas. So we automatically start singing. So Heavy D loved it. He's like, man, that's that's hard. There, he's complimenting. Then he gets the phone back to Floyd. Floyd gets the phone back, and how I knew that it was real because Floyd like, man, y'all just chill out. Y'all ain't got to go nowhere. Y'all just chill out. So now they want us to just chill out there, just play
Right.
pool, and So at that time, I'll just say this: me, Danny, and Bobby Torrance smoked cigarettes.
Okay.
So, but we knew, like we kind of like to do it discreetly because we didn't want to, everybody to see that image on us.
Right.
So we chilling, and Bobby, there's two Bobbies in the group. Bobby Torrance, he goes to the restroom. We still chilling. He comes back out. So so now because we there a long time now. So now I got to go to the bathroom. You know. So when I went in there, man, mind you, this house is in Mount Vernon. The house is clean. The
Right.
house has nothing but a fresh smell of it. Like I goes in bathroom, it's nothing but cigarette smoke. I said, dude, did you just smoke a cigarette in there, man? Like in this man's house, there's no sign of nobody smoking in this. Like, why would you smoke a cigarette in this man's house? He just sat there, looked like he knew what he knew at that time. I don't know to this day what made him do that, but
Right.
now they hear us bickering. The sister comes down. What's going on? Somebody smoked in here? Oh my God. I was gonna kill it. Like now I feel like pure doodle.
Right.
So now she's like, she's gonna kill us. Like, you know, yeah, y'all gotta go. And basically like kind of escort us out, like telling us like y'all gotta go. We didn't get a
Wow.
call back from him again. So that deal was kind of ruined by that. Like they didn't offer us a deal, but I knew
Right.
at
The
this
way the
time
vibe was going, the time spent there.
it's pretty much let us know that they was interested in this, like they was really interested in, because they had Soul for Real, which we saw them at the Century Club. Soul for Real kind of had a dry, and they had a dry look and a dry, like they didn't speak to us. They spoke to us like almost like, what's up? Like at that time, I ain't dig that, but like later on, I realized like I understood, because if I'm in a group and I'm signed with Heavy D, now you got another group coming in. That means you're gonna be putting more in this group than
Right.
in this group. So
Yep.
at that time, I didn't understand. I ain't like them for years. Then later on, I understood why they would like that. So, but anyway, yeah, he had artists, but he was, dude, like it was when your brother, everybody that was around him dug us.
Right.
Then we went. So Floyd really did take us to Warner Brothers. Yeah, he didn't take it as hard as like the sister, because the mom of the house the mom was like, she was the queen. Like she was our, like, if ain't no smoking in there, like they did extra job of the respect that they had for it. Like and the sister, she just wasn't going, like she
Right.
was. But anyway, he stayed with us and he took us to Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers, we sung for them. They they loved us, but they told us record 3 original songs, come back. At that time, we weren't recording on the studio. Now, mind you, we just up and singing trying to get it. We didn't know about making demos. And I be real, man. The noise we were making in Chattanooga, no, like I'm shocked even to this day that back then nobody would teach us the game. Like everybody that was even, like, it was a couple of folks that was here that kind of, we didn't know the game. We just knew what we wanted to do. Nobody would like teach us, man. Y'all need to get 3 original songs before y'all go to your, because we got turned down by a lot of people.
Because
Like,
at this point, y'all doing talent shows and showcases,
yeah, with no original music.
doing other people's
Other people's,
songs.
yep, yep. We eventually started. We made have spent 1 year doing songs. We did a couple of songs that didn't it didn't we loved them, but it didn't help us.
Right.
Even and after that, we went down to Atlanta, met this guy that kind of took over managing us for a little while. he was crazy. I think he was from here. His name was Robert. I forgot his last name, but he was from here. But he stayed in Atlanta for years,
Okay.
and he was working with us. He wanted to. He got us Ushers. Um, Usher had a, a voice coach. Two ladies was his voice coaches.
Okay.
He got us with them. What they did, they would give us ginger. They would give us this stuff to take, and they would voice coach. So he got us them. He
Right.
got us a audition at LaFace Records
Okay.
for Puff Daddy. You know, I know what's going on there, but I'm saying, you know, back then he was
You had
he
an
was the
addition to
guy.
sing.
Yeah.
I got you.
So he got us audition at LaFace Records in the office with Puff Daddy. It wasn't P Diddy, it was still Puff Daddy back then. So we sung the first song we sung was Shy. If I ever, what's the name of it? If I Ever Fall in Love Again.
Right.
This is exact words when we got through. He let us sing the whole song. His exact words when we got through. I don't like Shy, sing something else. This is how he looking at it. I don't like Shy, sing something else.
So
Yeah.
Puff Daddy, P Diddy now, Puff
Yeah.
Daddy, y'all singing for him.
Yep.
He lets you sing the whole song.
It's the whole song.
Go ahead.
Whole song, man. At that point, I'm like, I don't really know, but this dude at that point, I'm like, I feel like he ain't digging us. So,
Right.
but at the same time, like I said, later on down the line, I start understanding. But we sung it's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday by Boys to Men.
Okay.
Now, in the middle of us singing this one, his phone rings. Now, and he kind of talking low. We still singing, we don't want to just stop.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm like, is he letting whoever on the phone hear us? Like, I don't know what's going on,
Right.
but I'm kind of thinking that. So we singing. So he kind of like eases out the door, holding the phone still, holding the cell phone still. We still didn't stop though. Even when he walked out, we didn't stop until the song was over.
Gotcha.
Song was over. Got quiet. We just looking around like, what's up? So we in there like 10 more minutes, like, what's going on? What are you gonna do? What's he gonna do? So a security guy came in and said, who y'all here for? We like, we was auditioning for Daddy. The guy like, oh no, Puff Daddy's not here. Y'all gotta go on, y'all gotta go. That's how that audition went. Yeah.
Wait a minute. So
Yeah.
first, y'all perform a song he didn't like. Then a phone call happens in the middle of the second song.
Yep.
And he just leaves.
He just left. Didn't say nothing else. We didn't see him in person again.
So what does that do for you mentally?
Man, you would think that something like that would be like totally discouraging.
Right.
And I can't even explain. Maybe because we wasn't just one person. We was four of us, because we kept each other laughing.
Right.
So I think the relationship we had with each other, because there were times when one was discouraged. It was always communication was everything. So it's like but as a group, it didn't. It actually put gas up under us, like, because you gotta understand, like, we in a door. We now we finding out we can go sing for people.
Right.
So now we like, somebody gonna like us. That's what we were like. We was like at the mindset of somebody gonna like us. Like, I felt the same way I felt when I told my pops that I want to pursue this music. Like, I want to pursue the music. Like, I was still on go, because I felt like in my head. Don't get me wrong. That Puff Daddy interview was disappointing. I mean, audition was disappointing. So it ain't like that day we did something else. No, that day was a disappointing day.
Right.
But as we worked, the disappointment just kind of gradually would ease off, and it'll keep us back in the same mode. But because we auditioned for a lot of people, like we auditioned for a lot of people and got turned down. Like the founder of New Edition, we auditioned for him, and he stayed in contact with us for a little bit. Came to a couple of showcases, but just never went on. Like, it was pretty much at a I don't know if we fit the right image for him. Because mind you, we not these little pretty boy group image.
Right.
Our image was that of rappers actually, because it wasn't no light skin, pretty hair. We wasn't like that. We just had great voices.
Right.
So I think a lot of people looked at our image more than our voices, and a lot of people turned us down for that. And it's like I said, there's so many people we audition for, but so I don't want to leave nothing out, because the next audition I remember, because mind you, at that time although we did all that, we come back to Chattanooga, still going to Atlanta, but now it's getting to a point where, like, because everybody had got their own places early, like the duplexes wasn't that $400 a month you can get a duplex, so
Right.
everybody kind of got their own place. So now we working, we got bills, so it's getting hectic.
Mm-hmm.
So it got to the point where now it got to the point where it did get discouraging, and but now my pops believe in us, like because we're doing a couple of places now. When me and Chat, we still doing this downtown, which guy by the name of Fred Watson started kind of managing us, then they started getting us shows downtown. But now my dad, now we more in town, right. So my dad starts seeing us. Now he see a lot of potential.
Right.
So now, although we sing it's getting to the point where it ain't paying the bills. So, man, everybody kind of talked and was like, man, we just gonna kind of let it go. But Pops had his own business. And Pops was like, man, I'm just gonna tell the group I want to talk to him. So he talked to us, man. He let all of us work for him and my uncle.
Okay.
They had a business. Now, the group was kind of some lazy workers. Matter of fact, to keep it 100, with us, they lost money. But they believed in us so much that they let us. Now that we working and he paying us.
What type of work was it?
Man, it was basically, it was belling plastic. Like the business, it was a recycling business. They bailed like plastic into like half a ton to 2 tons of a bale, and sold truckloads of it. So
Gotcha.
we were the bailers.
Gotcha.
And sometimes it's even cleaning. You got to clean the plastic. Sometimes it's cleaning insulation paper. Like, you know how that feel on your arms. Like,
right.
But but they were, they weren't used to, we used to singing, so we wasn't getting out the production, So now now we back on track of singing at shows, and because we getting paid.
Right.
And then, man, I can't remember how it happened, but we stopped working for my pops. Oh, because we all got jobs at UTC Arena.
Right.
So now we all working for UTC Arena. Now, at this time, they got regular scheduled concerts there.
Mm-hmm.
We working as the people who take the stage up, put the basketball floor down.
Boom.
That's the part we working at. So we get in every concert for free, and met this lady, her name Tina, and so the up and coming concert that's at that time that was coming up was, I know these people got trouble that I mentioned it, but they had it. It was an R. Kelly concert coming up.
That's number 2. Go ahead.
R. Kelly concert coming up. So, this the guy. Now, you know what I'm saying? This he's a huge artist at this time. He's on his what's tour was that? What's his first? He's on what's the name of his first album? Not TB2. That's the second album. His first album was, oh man, man. Anyway,
gotcha.
That's the tour. That's the tour he's on. Man.
Right.
It's a self-titled thing. But anyway, he's on that tour. The lady Tina, who started taking over managing us, she knew one of the dancers, one of his dancers. She knew what we was trying to do also. The dancer said, since y'all work there, he's gonna have a greeting line after the show. She said, "Don't say nothing. Just go in front of the line. If somebody tell you, just tell them. If somebody say something to you, just tell them we supposed to be meeting somebody here. Just go in front of the line. When he open the door, just walk in. Don't say nothing." That's exactly what we done. We walked in. He had a bottle of wine. What's up, fellas? We like, what's up? We just start singing. We didn't say nothing else. We just start singing. He holding his wine. He doing just like this with his eyes closed. Like, whole time we singing. And he was like, "Damn, man." He said, "Man, I got to go on a world tour after this tour, and I'm gonna be on tour for at least 6 months. But after the 6 months, man, I want to sign y'all." And we like, cool, you know. Now we walk, we like, "Man, I appreciate it." We ain't had no conversation with it. We like, "I appreciate it, thank you, man." And so, uh, I think he made exchange numbers with our manager at that time.
Right.
Soon as we walk out the door, now we ain't see him nowhere. Warren G's manager outside the door. Warren G ain't performing at this show.
Right.
So, I mean, man, this got to be a God move. So Warren G's manager right outside the door. And he had unheard of us. I don't even know to this day. I ain't never asked him what made him come right there. I don't even know how he knew to come right there.
Man. Okay.
So we walk outside the door and he's like, "What's up, fellas?" We like, "Who you want? You Ron G. Man, we can sing. You want to sing for you?" He like, "Nah. I already done heard you. I already heard you. Y'all ain't got to sing for me." We like, "Y'all want to fly to LA?" Just like that. We like, none of us never flown on the plane before. We like, "Fly to LA?" Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, when?
Yeah.
Next week. I said, "You want us, wait a minute. You gonna fly us to LA next week?" He like, "Yeah, I'm Ron G." That was Ron. Ron always said, "I'm Ron G." So, and mind you, we had a lot of people that promised stuff that didn't come through. So we ain't really trusting and believing certain things. It was something else about that, but I was still at like, well, he got Danny's address. But in my mind, I said, "We'll see. We'll see.
Right.
If he for real, we'll see here soon." And about Danny was staying in Cromwell, to people that ain't from the city, Cromwell Project.
Right.
And about 3 days later, man, it was 4 plane tickets to LA.
Mm.
And man, that was like, and that was at that point, out of everything that happened, that was a change. That was a change. Now we like, it just got real,
Right.
And flew us to LA. I guess the tickets was like for the next week, something like for the next probably the next 2 weeks. Anyway, got on the plane. Everybody excited. We excited. Our family's excited. But so flew us to LA. Arrived. We got a hotel right. Like we in a hotel like right there at the first city when you get in LA is Inglewood. The hotel was like right in right in the area. Not the bad part of Inglewood, but I forgot the name of the street. But it was a straight hotel. Warren G comes to the hotel that next day. The next day, we sing for him. He was like, "Cuz I already know y'all can sing. You ain't got to, y'all done proved to me. I already know you can sing." Now, that was kind of puzzling because, again, we ain't knowing the game.
Right.
We just singing. We ain't know that we had to like, what we didn't have I'm thinking like we got to deal with G. Nah, because we didn't know about distribution labels.
Mm.
He was distributed by Def Jam. So we not knowing, that's why we in LA. We got impressed at that time with Lyor Cohen, which Lyor was he owned what's the label? What's the label Migos and all them was on?
300.
Yeah, Lyor Cohen, that's Lyor
Right.
Cohen label. At this time, he's the president of Def Jam. So, man, the next day, Lyor in Beverly Hills Hotel, we Warren G takes us up there. The man sitting down at the pool with his shades on. I mean, straight Hollywood, like straight up Hollywood. But we like it is what it is. We were happy to see him, because we knew him at the time.
Right.
So again, We sing it. We auditioned for him singing other people's songs.
Mm.
He was like, so by the time we got through, he was like, he looked at Warren G. He was like, well, who are y'all? I mean, because we sung Jodeci and Boys to Men. He was like, he says, already Jodeci. It's already a Boys to Men. Who are y'all? We ain't have no original song. So it ended like that. Now we back to like, oh man, we got turned down again. Even like, so when he said that, when he said, who are y'all? Warren G like, but damn, cuz you didn't hear how good they sound?
Right.
Cuz they sound good.
Right.
That's when Lyor was like, man, I know Warren, they do sound good, but we talking about marketable. Like who are they? Like
Right.
they singing Boys to Men, it's already Boys to Men. This is how you talking to Warren G. And now we just full of disappointment, man. We like, man, cause you're thinking like
Right.
you thinking that you there for a deal,
Right.
but you still the beginning stage, you
Right.
just at the right spot.
Right.
So that's why I got so much respect for Warren G. I know a lot of people don't like. I got super respect for this guy because he said he ended. So we ended that audition. He said, "Man, come on, y'all, let's go to the mall." The dude took us to the mall, got us outfits that made more of an image for us.
Right.
Took us to the studio. We recorded 3 songs that night of our own. We wrote them. Yeah. Well, we recorded 2, and we had. So we decided to, cause man, and I skipped this point, and I don't know why, but through high school, besides talent shows, through high school, we sung at a lot of churches.
Okay.
Cause wine is commissions, like commission. Those were like
Yeah.
big influences on us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we sung at a lot of churches. Okay, fast forward to the point where I was at now. It's one song that was one song called "Give Me a Clean Heart" that we sung a cappella version of. So we get in the studio, we do those 2 songs that night. Warren G set up, had Ron G, one of them, but they worked together on this. They had another meeting set up with Lyor at the same place. No. It wasn't at the same place. They had another meeting set up at G Funk. G Funk had an office in Hollywood on Sunset. So they set up a meeting. And what was crazy, when we got to the office, inside the conference room was Rodney King.
Mm.
Now at this point, he had that money from the suit, this back
Okay. Yeah.
then.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to this day, I don't know what they were meeting about. But in the conference room was Rodney King.
You walk in the conference room when Rodney King's in there.
He's in the. We walk
Walk in the building.
we go to come in the office, and then it's a glass conference room with a
Okay.
big table. Rodney King is in that meeting with with who was he meeting with? Somebody that worked for Warren G Funk at the time. Like I said, I don't know what they were meeting about, but he comes out. We shake his hand. Now, after like shaking hands with Rodney King, which was kind of crazy seeing him, but he was cool. He was cool, he shook our hands. What's up, fellas? Good luck to y'all. He knew what was going on. So we got in the office. About 5 minutes later, 3 people come in. It's Lyor Cohen, it's Tina Davis, which Tina Davis was the A&R for Def Jam at that time. It eventually became Chris Brown's manager. And a lot of people don't know, but I found out that when Chris Brown and Rihanna got to fighting, it was over Tina Davis. That's a whole nother story.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I know this is your interview.
No, it's all good.
Now
It's
you
all good.
unpack that.
Yeah. So, we got a lot of relationships, and I found out from kind of a close source that when they were on the road, when they was in the car with her, they got to fighting. It was something that she seen in this phone. That's what everybody know. But a lot of people don't never know who the female was. Well, the female was that of Tina Davis, which was that was his manager at the time. That was his manager when that happened, when the fight happened. But at this time, us auditioning Tina Davis was the A&R of Def Jam.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Gotcha.
But and Kevin Lyles, that's third person. Kevin Lyles is the what was his title? He's the vice president of Def Jam at that time, I think.
Right.
Lyor, Kevin Lyle, and Tina Davis. So these clothes that we got from the mall is what we put on. The 2 songs that we recorded at Warren G's house, we practiced all night and performed these 2. And we sung an a cappella song called Give Me a Clean Heart, which we used to sing in church services.
Right.
It's a cappella song. So mind you, like when they come in and sit down, they say, "What you got?" That's all they say to us. So when we sing the first song. We sing the second song. Then we sing the a cappella song. When we got through with the a cappella song, it was quiet for a whole, like if you count to 10, like in a normal pace, 1, 2, for about 10 whole seconds, it was quiet. They was just looking. And to go, not to keep going back to this movie, but to go back to the Temptations, when the Temptations auditioned for Def Jam, and when they got through, it was quiet for a minute before Barry Gordy said, "That's what it was quiet. And we just kind of look at each other like, okay. So Lyor say, "Thank you. That's it." So we go out the office, and it's an elevator outside the door of the office. We get on the elevator, us and Ron G. I look at Ron G, I said, "Man, do we got a deal?" Like, "What you mean, do we got a deal? I'm Ron G. Of course we got a deal." That's all I wanted to know. That's when he said that, that's when the weight lifted off my shoulder. You know what I'm saying? So that was at the beginning of '96. So now we presented a contract, which that was when I seen the contract, that's when I was happy.
Hit you.
Yeah, that's when it hit me. I was happy. But man, so like I said, my dad, he started seeing the potential. So even before that, he used to always say, "Man, when y'all get a deal, don't sign nothing without no lawyer." He always kept that in our head. So, you know what I'm saying? So we got this high-ass lawyer, man, but just took pretty much half the advance we got. But, but
y'all did get an advance.
We got an advance. Not that much, but we got an advance. So and I'm gonna go up to that. So the contract, thick contract, we give it to the lawyer, and man, now we working back for our dad, back for my dad, because we done got fired from UTC,
right?
Because that's when Luke came with the dances, and we didn't work after that, and this we just started kicking it with everybody that was there, and we got fired.
Distracted.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now now we know we got a deal. So he let us work back for him, till the contracts is negotiated. Man, first month go by, second month. Now, mind you, these months, at that time, you got a record deal with a major label. Now, we know we got a record deal with Def Jam. At this time, Def Jam huge. And G-Funk, actually, a couple of years before that, Warren G had just put out a 4-time platinum album. So we know we got this waiting on us, and we working. So it took 6 months to negotiate the contract, and man, each month went by, it was so slow. So slow. Finally, and they, honestly, we got like a $50,000 advance. Now, people give advances based on what numbers you're doing.
Okay.
We ain't do nothing. So everything was earned. We didn't have no original songs out, even in our own city. So basically, they took everything by talent, and they took a chance on us. Like I said, we weren't these light-skinned or pretty boys that like a lot of groups were. Like, it was a lot of groups at the time.
Right.
You had Drew here, Jagged Edge. You had a lot of groups. And then a couple of people in the group tall. So it's like, but they worked. They saw something.
Right.
And Man, so we didn't finish the contract negotiations until like going towards 97. That's when we signed I can't remember exactly which month, but I know we moved out there in January in 97. Because once we signed, they had to get the living expenses together. They had to get the budget. They had to get the living where we were gonna stay at together. They
Right.
had to get they got a van for us. They had to get all this other stuff done before we moved out there to make sure so that took a couple of months. So by the time we got out there, it was the beginning of 97. But they moved us in North Hollywood. And where we moved at, it was more networking because the apartments we moved at were apartments that, like, when people go out and create and work on sitcoms, they stay at these apartments. When they work on Nickelodeon
Okay.
stuff, when they work in Hollywood, they stay at these apartments.
Right.
So we met a lot of people, man. We met a lot of people out there, and we started working right then. And again, where I got so much respect for Warren G, because by the time the contract was done, we had 100% publishing. And I don't think not one artist today got 100% publishing. And one,
Real quick, somebody just contacted my Instagram. They said check your phone.
is this live?
No,
Oh,
no, it's not live. But I'm assuming you told a family member that you were doing an interview today, and it's
shit. Lil Reggie probably trying to call me.
I think that's what they're saying.
This speaker is wet. Hold on. Hold on. Hello?
This is a prepaid debit call from
Yo,
an inmate at the Hamilton County Jail and Detention Center. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tellink.
What up, my dude? What's going on?
I'm in the car here early. I forgot that question.
That's all right. That's all right. You called at the right time. I'm in the interview right now.
So he set up.
Yeah. You want to say something? You want to say something? Say something to the people.
I mean, shoot, I'll be out there soon. Free me, I'll be out there soon. Taking it day by day.
Yeah.
Life sentence. Got a life sentence.
Yeah.
We'll be all right.
Shout out.
The bed.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, shout out, man. Shout out to TheC&PNetwork, first of all. He can hear me.
Yeah, you hear
Yeah, I
me?
hear you. Appreciate it, brother.
Oh, second of all, shout out to all the homeboys, the one that's been there for me. They know who they is. Shout out to mama and daddy. You know, sisters, family members,
Yep.
the fans, you know.
Yep.
Just shout out to everybody who messing with me.
Yep. Yeah, man. I was telling them, you know what I'm saying, that you was before the interview started, we was talking, and I, telling them about, you everything, just, you're holding your head up and stuff, and just taking it day by day. Just been working out, you know. They gon' see a whole nother body frame from you, but you know what I'm saying. But letting that time go by, working out all day and getting your rest, while everybody got your back.
All I do is eat, work out, play spades. I be thinking of some little lyrics in my head, thinking of songs, but
Yeah,
I just be in my zone for just waiting on that day to come.
yeah,
No, not get back to business with the music.
yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, well, that's what's up, man. I know we could talk about stuff personal, but
Right. Yeah.
I'm a Was it anything that you wanted to ask him?
No, man. I just want to see how his spirit was, man, and let him know he got our support out here.
You hear that?
Yeah, I am. And tell him, I be appreciating him for doing all that. You feel me? The vlogs and stuff about me. You feel me? Letting folks know what's going on and stuff.
Yeah, you hear you.
I appreciate you noticing, Brody.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you too. If you ever want to do an interview with me through the phone, you know, we can do that too. Whenever.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah,
Let's definitely set that up.
Cause we're gonna for sure get one when I get out.
You owe me one.
Yeah, we supposed to been dead. We supposed to been dead.
I'm telling you. Now we gonna get that one over the phone here soon, and then we definitely gonna get the one where you touch down.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
If you let my daddy know a time or whatever, if you want to do it, just let me know. I'm gonna make sure I be on time.
Yeah,
I
we'll
bet.
stay connected. We'll stay connected and
For sure.
you know, keep you updated and stuff. And yeah, we'll just go from there. We'll do that. But you called at the right time. I'm glad you know called at the right time because you know that way you can you know give TheC&PNetwork a shout out and you know Cornell the shooter shout out and you know just let everybody know you know you keeping your head up and so now people you know they can hear your voice you know your voice instead of you know me saying anything or you know some people just want to hear your voice you know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying so it's good to I'm glad you called at this time so
Yeah, I'll be out there soon, man. Free Polo, man. The fans white girl.
yes sir yes sir yes sir well make sure you call me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say you can go ahead and finish your interview. Though. I ain't gonna hold you up. Y'all go ahead and do y'all thing.
All right, bro. We're gonna be in touch, man.
I got you.
All right, bro.
All right, love you, man.
All right. I love you too, Pop.
Okay. Call me later on.
All right.
All right, bye.
Phone call from Polo.
Yeah, man. My boy, that's my dog, man. That's my dog. Free Polo.
Free Polo.
Yes, sir.
So the contract signing, like you said, it started in January. Well, in the beginning of
97.
'96.
Well, yeah. Well, 97 is when,
In
96
'96,
started the
and
contract,
then
yeah.
'97. Now y'all in LA. Not only sign artists at this point, but y'all mingling and living amongst the stars.
Man, like, and I said somewhere, it felt like we was living inside of a TV, man. It was, man, I look back at it even today in amazement, like,
Right.
because, I mean, it was just a group of like well, if you're eating somewhere, they there. If you at a red light somewhere, you see somebody. Like I mean, like I said, man, we found a rehearsal hall. We used to rehearse at on the daily. We rehearsed for like 8 hours.
Mm.
Um, but you go to these rehearsal halls, you may see at this time. That's when Will Smith and Cisco had that song "Wild Wild West" out.
Right.
And so, you know, you're seeing them rehearse, you're seeing these different, I mean, it's too many people to name, but you're seeing everybody you're seeing on a regular basis. Even the studios we go to, pardon me, my family be, but the studios we go to, like everybody there, like, and I remember one, like, kind of in the middle of the album, one person we hadn't seen was Dr. Dre at the time.
Okay.
And man, we went to the studio. Warren G came. We didn't work that day, but Warren G came and got us because he was driving this big man. I forgot the name of that truck, man. What's the name of that truck he had? Anyway, he came and got us, took us to the studio, man. Guy opened the door, it was Dr. Dre. Now he like, oh man, he didn't tell us who you know, he didn't tell us who was gonna be in the studio. He just said we're going to the studio.
Right.
Man, Dre he opened the door. Man, you know, he was cool. What's up? What's up? What's up, G Dub? That's what they call one. What up, G Dub? You know, what up, fella? We go in. He like, y'all, hey, y'all check this out. And he played at this time, what was the album? It was the album when he left Death Row. And he had the beat he had was it had that ring ding dong.
Leave your head ring.
At the beginning of on this album, before it came in, he left this. I mean, he had this as an intro. This is dedicated to the motherfuckers down day one.
Right.
Welcome to Aftermath. And it had this explosion before it became in this. Man, I ain't never heard nothing so loud in the studio, man. Like, man, dude played his, man, I ain't heard no volume like the speakers he had, man. I don't know what he had, but the volume, we listen to our songs loud. Like,
right.
everybody with finished product, they gonna turn it. This volume, this particular volume, man, was unlike none other. Like, I ain't never heard no song with this much volume with bass and everything perfect.
Right.
Like, that was crazy. I don't see how you listen to. I can't imagine how many songs he done listen to like that. But it was so crazy, man. I was like, man, and it sounded so good coming. I was like, oh, this is crazy.
Right.
You know, we not vibing out here, you know. Made it look like we were kissing ass, but probably was a little bit. But the song was still hard. You know what I'm saying? Because of course we in a way like kind of want to network with him, getting him to,
Right.
you know.
For sure. Well, being around Warren G, you know, of course, it led you to meet many celebrities and many artists and producers like Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
But another one in particular would be Snoop Dogg.
Yep.
What was that first time like meeting Snoop Dogg?
The first Snoop was at the first studio session we had in LA. Snoop, Corrupt, Dez, and a couple of more Dog Pound. When we walked in, they was playing dominoes right outside and we the only ones that had a session. So it's like, now we come from Chattanooga.
Right.
Now, mind you, the first song we didn't make the album, but I like the song, but it didn't make the album. But just the fact of this is our studio session. This part is rented out
Right.
for us. In this part, you got these celebrity dudes. At this time, Dog Pound is hot. You know what I'm saying? Platinum, and you know they album went double platinum. You know, you still got Snoop, just still hot with the Dogfather album.
Right.
So these big artists in our studio, cool as ever. Like, and I had a video camera, so I'm videoing it.
Right.
So now I got all this on tape, which eventually my brother recorded over.
Oh, I'm about to say, still to this day.
Yeah.
Man, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he gonna see this. Yep, I'm telling everybody. Yeah, you recorded over. And I was sick. I was
I
sick.
bet.
Man, he got me with that one. But yeah. But yeah, that was our first encounter with him, which many more round up coming. But our first time,
Well, you said many more. Give me a story
like, it's so many of them,
from being
man.
around
We
Snoop
went
Dogg.
to the Sprite, they call it the Sprite celebrity game. It was us. Well, that's just one story. One in particular story. We went over Warren G house. Not even to go to the studio this day. This day it was just to go over there and just chill out. His pops cooked. We were just gonna chill out. You know, smoke. You know, drink. Just have a good time.
Right.
We get over there, and Snoop there, and so he had a basketball rim in his driveway. So we went to, man, see, I'm thinking about something else because it's another good one, because we went over Snoop house also, but that's another story. So we playing basketball in his driveway, and so Snoop goes. The studio is on the side. The basketball, the driveway where the basketball rim is on the side. So first door you go in is the studio. So Snoop goes in the studio. We still playing basketball.
Right.
It's a glass door. You see Snoop. He look like he working. So we going, you know. We didn't want to go in there and interrupt per se. So we still out there playing basketball. We got tired. We went in there. Snoop, you know, like, come on, come on in, sit down, you know. So we went in, sat down. He's still vibing. He playing the beat. You know, he writing.
Right.
And the beat hard, you know. So we like kind of start vibing to it. You know, we just start freestyling to it. You know, at that time, anytime we hear a song, you know, we always freestyle to it singing wise. That's when them harmonies was automatic.
Right.
So he was like, cuz, say that again. He stopped the music. He was like, say it again. So we sung it a cappella to him. Then he cut the music back on, and then we started singing it. He was like, oh, cuz y'all got to record. Y'all got to go record that. So we went and recorded it, man. And it ended up on so he did his verse. Now Warren G all hype. Now he did his verse. And another rapper that Warren G was gonna sign called Fats Barcelona, he did a verse. And so we listened to it. We had everybody, just enjoying, vibing, and having a good time. Now we finished the song. And now, so imagine Snoop is this big artist, right? And so he ain't left yet. He's still there kicking it with us. Then his wife comes over. Actually, his wife was already there, but she was in there with Warren G's girl, so we never did see her. We didn't know she was there. So when we go from the studio to the, not family room, but it was sort of like a family room that was beside the kitchen with Island and all that. Everybody chilling in there, dad cooking. Now they just chilling with us. Now we all just chilling, smoking drinks, just kicking it, playing music, just having a good time, man. And nighttime come, and they still there. We ain't left. We just kicking it. This house, Warren G had just moved in, so one of the rooms didn't have not one piece of furniture in it. It was like carpet. It was 2 rooms like that. 2 bedrooms like that didn't have nothing in them. So we kicking it. Now we start playing the game. Now we playing the PlayStation.
Right.
Now Snoop, Snoop Team Pittsburgh. You see what I am.
Right.
So we, we playing the game, talking shit, talking. You know what I'm saying? Just having now. I'm still in my mind. I'm like, this is crazy. Yeah. So we still chilling. Next thing you know, we all spend the night over there. Like they him and his wife stayed in one of them. I don't know if they, because I didn't go that way when I found out they went in their room. So I don't know if they had
Right.
floor mattresses or what, but I know it was nothing in the bedroom. So maybe they, but in my mind, I'm still like you got to be a humble guy to be done sold all these records.
Right.
And you cool with sleeping on the floor with no furniture. Like,
Right.
and that's how he act. Like, he really did act like that. He act like somebody that you grew up with. Like, just the type of dude that we got to know.
And that was every time you met him?
Man, every time. There was never a time he wasn't cool with us. Like, we went over his house. Now, he probably got, at that time, probably about 10 niggas in there, 10 dudes in there.
Right.
They smoked. Like, we walk in there, this is exactly what's going on. He's standing beside the TV. Yeah, all dudes circle around. He got a couch that's kind of running into each other, circling around. It's all dudes. This is exactly what he's doing by the TV. It's a little chef. He on a chef like hitting it, pass it, rolling. Hitting it, pass it, rolling. He had to do that about 15 times, man.
That's why he went about that. That's why he hired that roller eventually.
Dude, he rolled so he would roll, and then now mind you, I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, we were hitting it too. But yeah, we on who ain't gonna smoke with Snoop? It's people that don't smoke. Anyway, right or wrong, yeah, we was hitting it. So, man, now he passed. Now we faded. Now we over his house faded. And the last one he rolled, now he rolled all joints, and the last thing he rolled was a blunt. But even though it was joints, he just kept rolling them. Like he just kept rolling them. So now we faded, and his last, after the blunt, he'd say, y'all want to go play some basketball. Now I'm faded as I don't know what, but I'm not finna say no. It's Snoop asking us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We go outside, he got his whole basketball court as a Laker court.
Right.
So now they choosing. They want to play. They playing 5-on-5. Because there's a lot of dudes over there. They choosing.
Right.
And they chose me. He chose me. And I don't know. He probably chose because I'm the tallest one. And he didn't know how. So he chose me. I was happy, man. Inside, I'm walking on it like I ain't happy, man. I was happy as I don't know what. I'm like, this nigga Snoop just chose me to be on his team. But I was high as hell. So man, we got the plan, man. And what was crazy, I started showing out too, because the more I was out there running, the more the high was coming down. So, man, we wound up winning. Then we played like 2 more games. Then he like, hey, Uncle Junebug, put some meat on the grill. He put meat on the grill, started playing it. He had a studio right beside his basketball court. He took the speaker outside, started playing music. Then he went in the studio. Everybody just kind of vibing, looking at him, kind of like just, man, it was almost like witnessing greatness because he started playing his music, which I don't know if a lot of people know Battle Cat, but he's a West Coast based producer that got some heat. His production almost kind of sound like DJ Quick, but DJ Quick is on another level. That's another conversation. But the music he playing and the way he vibing and the way he like, he kind of, right then he started a studio session, and man, he was just basically leading the way to whoever was in there on the song, and we just like witnessing greatness, man. Like, man, Snoop is another whole. That's why he the most popular rapper in the world, man. His personality is. I mean, everybody knows it's just different,
Right.
you know.
Right. There's a little more Snoop Dogg. Warren G.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you got his uncle, the manager.
Yep.
You know, we're gonna fly y'all out.
Yep.
But the facilitator
Mm-hmm.
of the deal between G Funk Entertainment and Def Jam
Mm-hmm.
and Real Tight
Yep.
was Warren G.
Yep.
How special is Warren G to you?
Man, that's my West Coast brother. And dude, like to get to have a business, you know what I'm saying, as far as getting in this music business into a evil business, into a business people try to get people for everything. This dude, you saw all he wanted was the best for us. Like he proved from the beginning. Like he fought when sure we even had that deal. He didn't care about getting rich off of us. He believed in us, but just he gave us 100% publishing. So his actions showed his love. Like he would take us on his tours, and a couple of shows he let us, because we did a couple of songs on his album, and a couple of songs he didn't have to sing at his shows because they weren't singles, but he would let us get experiences of different things in the industry. So man, this guy, man, even to this day, like last year, they this is so coincidental. Like, please don't. If you ask me how this happened, I'm gonna tell you I don't know.
Right.
My family was in Florida. Now this was either last year or the year before last year. I think it was last year. My son went to jail at the beginning of this year. So I think this was like last year.
Right.
we took a family trip to Florida. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? His kid, his girl, my family, even my daughters, And we in Tampa Bay. I get a call from Ron G. I hadn't talked to Ron G in a couple of months. I kind of keep in touch with, because I'm real cool with not only Warren G, but his family. Like his sister still come down. He still got family in Chat. So, but I hadn't talked to them. Like it had been a little minute since I had talked to Ron G. So Ron G just out of nowhere just called me and said, "What's up, man?" I'm like, "Nothing, man. I'm on the family trip down here in Tampa Bay." They're like, "Oh, you in Tampa Bay?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You coming to the show?" I said, "What show?" He said, "Warren G and Snoop and Too Short and Wiz Khalifa, we all done." I said, "Y'all got a show down here?" I said, "When?" He said, "It's Friday." It's like Tuesday or Wednesday. I said, "Y'all got me? Y'all got pass?" "Yeah, we got all access pass for you. You and whoever you want your wife to come or whatever, we got you."
Oh, wow.
I said, "I'm there." Me, you know what I'm saying? I still get excited when I hear from them. They was a big part of my life. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
My wife and them don't care about that junk. You know what I'm saying? They respect it. They respect them, but as far as the music business part of it, they don't care about that junk. Me, I do. So my kids there, they was like, we cool, we gonna stay at Busch Gardens. I said, look, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna go to Busch Gardens for a little while, then I'm gonna go to the show.
Right.
Cause you know what I'm saying. So I went to the show, man, and they, you know what I'm saying, just showed love, man, and it was a good show. Snoop showed out, Wiz Khalifa. It was a lot of people. It was a few artists, but it was Snoop's tour.
Right.
That's a whole nother thing. The relationship that Warren G and Snoop have is solid. But so we got there, man. You know, spoke to everybody. You know what I'm saying, from all these years to even now. That last year, I spoke to everybody. You know what I'm saying, after the whole show. You know what I'm saying. Warren G told me to come on the bus, you know what I'm saying, and
Right.
just, holler at them for a minute. They wouldn't even let me back there. And so I put them on the phone, they still wouldn't let me back there. So they had to come up and get me. And as little as that sounds, they didn't have to do all that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Cause
No. I mean, I don't look at that as little.
You know what I'm saying? So that love, man, it marinates, man, cause like I said, love is an action, not a noun. So like,
right,
getting showed that, like, man, it put a lot of respect in my heart. So that's how much I got love for that guy, man. I respect that guy to the utmost, and you know what I'm saying. I got brother. I mean, that's like a West Coast brother,
What's up?
And I appreciate everything. He responsible for, now we ain't get rich, but we got a lot. We went on tour. We had a tour
Right.
bus. We were moving artists. Like, we were moving nationwide artists who got a song number 23 on the Billboard. So that I should have brought it. I got a gold plaque
Right.
at home because we was on that album that went gold. So he got out each name. We got gold plaques for that. Like, the stuff that I dreamed about,
Right.
he's responsible for. So I respect him to the utmost, regardless of whatever people think. Whoever, I don't care. Your opinion is your opinion. I respect him to the utmost, as an artist and as a man.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
But along with, like you said, you went on tour,
Yeah.
gold plaques. Your group also got an album.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly.
Not to mention just the album, but the lead single from the album was on the billboards, number 32 on the R&B hip hop billboards.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. 1999. The group will release Back to the Real.
Yes, sir. Back to the Real.
Back to the Real.
Yep.
Like I said earlier, the lead single would be featured on the billboard. Also be featured in a movie and made the soundtrack. Also was remixed by Cameron.
Yeah, remix featuring Cameron.
Correct.
Yep.
And the movie was I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Huge movie.
Yeah.
So to say the least, he did a whole lot more than just getting you backstage at that concert.
Yes. Yeah, man, that's what I mean.
He facilitated like I said, an album.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you spoke earlier about the upfront money. Was there any large financial success from the album?
Well, and see, again, one thing that we lack, and all due respect to Tina, because she was our manager at that time, but there was so up front, after the contract was done, when we moved out there, they gave us $50,000. It's not a large amount, but it was at the
large amount of money.
Yeah, I had never had that. but I mean, and then you gonna see what I'm saying. So the cost of living wasn't near as what it is now. So it pretty much gave us something to take care of what we need to take care of at home to get us out there.
Right.
Now, back to this Lyor. We didn't have the money to pay him, but he knew we had a deal, so we paid him out of our advance, $12,500 of $50,000 that we had to split anyway 4 ways. So you do the math, $12,500. So wait a minute, they gave us 25 up front, and then they gave us 25 when we got out there. So his 12 came out the first 25. So we split in 12-5. because he got the 12.5.
Right.
No. His 12.5 came out when we got out there because we
Okay.
paid him when we. Did we pay him the first or did we pay him before? No, we paid him. We paid him up front. We paid him 12.5 when he finished the contract.
Right.
Because it was still like a month or two before we actually moved out there, but they paid us the first 25 to take care of whatever. He
Right.
got 12.5 out of that 25. Then we split 12.5 down the middle. So it did the job, but and at that time we still happy we got a deal. So
Right.
again, we don't know the game. We got a lawyer that did a great job, but we did not pay that much. And so financially, back to the cost of living, they spent a lot of money. Again, we didn't know the game because
Right.
if we knew, we could have stayed in a place that's not expensive as North Hollywood and did great
Like
things.
all that's coming.
All this coming out of our budget. So you talking about the place. We went to a 2-bedroom apartment of a friend's that almost like the project 2-bedroom here, and they was paying like at that time it was like $1,600. That was a lot back then.
Right.
Way a lot back
Right.
then. And it didn't look like nothing. The one they paid per hours, we all 3 years we stayed in 3 places. The first year we stayed in North Hollywood. That had to, man, that probably was like $3,000-4,000 a month. The whole year.
And that's coming out your budget.
Then the next 6 months, they was trying to get together the apartments that we was gonna move into. For 6 months, we stayed in a hotel.
Gotcha.
2 rooms. 6 months. All that money that they was paying for our
Yeah.
living expenses. Imagine, and we had it was a nice van, but we had a van for 3 years. So all this money that they spent for us to live, and they gave us per diem. The per diem wasn't really nothing. Per diem may have been like $1,700 a month, split 4 ways. So we couldn't really keep nothing, and we could live because when you sign with a big label, everything's free, clothes free, food, everything's free. So we really ain't having to buy nothing.
Now, when you say free though, that's still go to your
because when you sign with a certain level of a label, they throw stuff at you to promote their stuff.
Okay.
So like, wherever we perform, they thinking we making be able, but it ain't for a certain performance. They just give you stuff because they know you with a label.
Gotcha.
So we got a lot of free clothes and a lot of stuff, a lot of free shoes, just because we were signed with G-Funk and Def Jam. So that wasn't in the budget, but all just
the daily living and monthly living as far as you.
Yeah, all that and the studio costs. Like back then, studio costs $1,200 to $1,500 an hour. We spent plenty of hours in studios, plenty of days, ate like a lot of. Then after we complete the album, then you got a whole phase of a mixing. So all this money that they spent, this one thing we can't say, they spent a lot of money. We just didn't have. Imagine we went in a game blind.
Right.
We didn't have a manager that could teach us to control a budget, or she didn't have a knowledge, and that's a whole nother thing because me and the guys would get into it because the lady said that she wanted to take us to a certain level, and once we got there, she wanted us somebody else that could take us further.
Oh, okay.
But when we got there, I had love for it, but it was business, and I wanted to get another manager, and they was like, "Nah, she got us here, man. Let's keep it." And then like we grew up with it, she just got us, and I'm just doing what she said.
She did a job up to this point.
Yeah, and so they didn't. So that was a big situation, but we didn't fall out. But you start seeing a fix. Like we was in LA one time, we wanting them to, because every now and then we imagine we ain't getting paid that much, so we was labor, hey, let us get $5,000. So this particular time she called, man, the president. Okay, so I got to fast. Well, the president of this next label, because eventually before we even finished our album, Def Jam let G-Funk go.
Is this the first album?
This is the first album, yeah.
Okay.
So by the time we finished our album, Back to the Real,
Right.
wasn't distributed by Def Jam.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So because they felt like for the label, he wasn't producing. Now, when I say this, I guess I say allegedly because we never knew exactly why they let G-Funk go.
I got you.
But it felt like he didn't have enough of a label for them to keep on. You know what I'm saying? It's like he wasn't producing like hits like he would. So that's what it felt like.
Gotcha.
Now, that's why I say allegedly. And so here comes a label called Restless Records, which Restless did a lot of. They weren't popular, but they was rich, and they produced a lot of scary movie soundtracks, and a lot of scary movie soundtracks ain't popular. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't know them, but they knew G-Funk. So that's how.
So is that how y'all ended up on the?
That's how we ended up on I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, because that
was the
that was
link.
the label. Yep.
Gotcha.
That was the label
Okay.
connect.
Yeah. Now go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you good.
It's all making sense now.
Yeah, and that's how the remix. Do You Want to Ride remix with Cameron?
Right.
That's how it ended up on Jerry Springer movie called The Ringmaster. So
oh, it was a Jerry Springer movie as well.
Jerry Springer had a movie called The Ringmaster.
Okay.
And they put the remix on his movie. And you know,
Okay.
so all this, you know, we went to the movie premiere, you know, Brandy, all Mackay Piper, all, you know, all them there. And what's crazy, after the premiere was over, we was standing outside. Brandy comes outside and gets, now imagine, she just got through taking all these pictures. I had a throwaway camera in my hand. And I was like, man, I want to take a picture with her, but I don't want to ask.
Right.
So she walked into the limo. I said, man, forget this. I said, hey, Brandy. I said, I'm sorry, please. I know you're tired. Can I just have one picture with you? She looked at me like, I said, she like, come on, boy. You know what I'm saying? So I gave the camera. My throwaway camera, mind you. I gave it to somebody. They took a picture of me and Brandy.
Right.
Mind you, my throwaway camera. I get my camera back. A month later, that picture was on the whole page of the back of Sister to Sister magazine. They had a magazine back then called Sister to Sister, one of the promotional magazines. It was actually sold in stores. That's when that's when magazines was like
right.
Before the internet. But it was on a full page of the back of Sister to Sister, because they had pictures from the movie premiere. And they made that up a whole. Dude, I don't know how they got that picture. That was a throwaway camera I used. I don't know how they got that picture.
Only thing come to mind would be when you went and got the pictures filled, one of the workers sent it off.
That's the only thing I could think of.
That's
That's
wild.
just wild how that can happen. Like to this, when I saw that, because nobody said nothing about that was gonna be. Everybody used to be in magazines.
Right.
So we got magazines all the time and read them.
Right.
So that was just one magazine I got. And man, I looked, I said, what? Like I ain't nobody tell me. I just seen it, man. It was crazy.
Those experiences, man.
Man.
Those experiences. So
yeah.
Like I said, the album release.
Mm-hmm.
It would do well.
Yeah.
Especially the first single. Do You Want to Ride?
Yeah.
Not to mention remixed in
Mm-hmm.
movies. What prevented, in your opinion, what prevented the follow-up album?
So, and I'm gonna lead up to that. I'm finna lead up to the follow-up album.
Go ahead.
Our third single. First of all, our first single was called "Do You Want to Ride?"
Right.
Our second single was "I Want You." Both hit the charts, Billboard charts. Third single should have been a song we did on Soul Train, man. We on Soul Train now. Soul Train is another thing, and another platform that every artist would go to. We did a song on there that should have been our third single. Our third single was "Reasons," which Reasons, the feedback we got was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
But Reasons aged us. I got to turn this off, man. I'm sorry, man.
Oh, you good.
The only reason I turned it back on was my son called. Now I can turn it back off. But Reasons, Reasons aged us because it was an older song,
Right.
and it got played. Now we young, but it got played on turn off. It got played on older, like they call. You got your urban regular stations that plays the hits, and then you got your urban AC, which plays older.
Right.
So we got put on the older platform at a young age for doing Reasons. That kind of killed the image that we had built. Cause Do You Want to Ride and Reasons, although Reasons is a great song, they not on the same.
Right.
So, and Reasons was produced by one of Earth, Wind and Fire. We had Earth, Wind and Fire in the video.
Right.
That's when Usher mom come in the picture, the managers.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Usher's mom.
Usher mom managed us at the end, towards the end of that album. Yeah. I mean, towards the third one. When right when we put out the third single, that's when
Was the album? Now I'm asking for first. Was the album done?
The album was done. We had already released the 2 songs.
Was the album out when she became?
Yep.
Okay.
It's a lot of things happening with that.
Interesting, because I got a question for you later. That's interesting. I didn't know Usher's mom.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
And my dad, the one hooked that up. I can't remember how he linked. My dad started working hard behind the scenes for us. But anyway, so finally the group saw what I saw. Like she just couldn't take us no. So somehow, man, I can't remember the exact way, but we linked up with her. She called us to her office in Atlanta. We met with her.
Right.
So she told us straight up. She said, you know, I've been pretty much just busy with my son, but I done got this management company. So, I will. She said, I step in. She said, I know it. She said, now I know a lot of money been spent. This is our first meeting. She saw the Reasons video. This is how our meeting went. She saw the Reasons video first before she met with us. So she said, I know a lot of money been spent. She said, Usher has done numerous videos where he had to do the video over again. She said, that video, I don't like that video. She said, I'm going to go and have a budget meeting with them and ask them to do Reasons video again. She said, if they don't do it, I can only talk to them. She said, if they don't do it, I can't continue to manage y'all because they've spent the money they're going to spend for this project.
Right.
She said, if they do it, we can continue. That she had a meeting with the label. They didn't do it. So she came to Chattanooga and told us to meet her over her mom's house. We met over mom's house. She said, I tried, y'all. I want to tell y'all face to face, I mean, y'all a talented group. She said, but, the way I work, I got the ideas, but if I ain't got the money to spend, my work means nothing.
Right.
And she said, so I can't continue. I'm sorry. Couldn't do nothing but respect her. So that was so then so then we came back to chat. Because that pretty much was over. Reasons, it did okay. But again, they didn't play it on, I say in Chattanooga, I compare to from 94.3 wouldn't play it, 93.5 would play it. But we get this age. So it kind of like just cut that all off. But so we came back to Chattanooga. So then a couple of months later, we went back. They put us in Pasadena to record with one of Babyface ghost producers called Keith Andes.
Okay.
We recorded 3 songs. Great songs too. Dude was good. And so we recorded the songs, and then they sent us back. They said, let us get this living facility together for y'all, and we'll call y'all when we're ready. We call y'all about a month. A month went by, 2 months went by, 3 months went by. By the 4th month, I'm calling them. What's going on? Right. I ain't even care about who managed. I'm calling myself. And 6 months, then by the 7th month, I ain't even get no answer. So basically, that just faded and wind. It went from us having a deal to it just. Because come to find out, the reason we didn't go back because that label done let Warren G Funk labels go. So at this time, we can't even get in touch with Warren G. We can't talk. Run G was talking to, but Run G was in a, because at this point, Run G, yeah, he's trying to, and his first priority is his artist, which is Warren G. But he, even though he talked with us and he would show us love and help us, but his first priority was Warren G, which we couldn't do nothing but respect.
Of course.
But it went back. Everything just went back to not having good management. Management is everything. So our career pretty much went down the hill because lack of management. Because like a lot of money spent. And I ain't even mentioned videos. Videos at that time, hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
So we spent. I can't complain on. They spent a lot of money on us. So that's why I wasn't complaining of the small redeem or the small events, because they spent a lot of money
to make
on us.
everything happen.
Yeah, they the ones spent the money for us we had a whole tour bus. They spent that. That was about $100,000 right there.
Right.
They spent that money. So they spent a lot of money, man. And I ain't including radio, payola. I ain't including street promotion.
Right.
It's a lot of money they spent on us. So, yeah.
So to this day, no hard feelings.
No hard feelings. I can't.
That's what's up. So you come back to Chattanooga.
Yeah.
As far as the group, what happened with the group?
Man, dismantled. And that's a mild word. And I had, man, that was the beginning of a phase of depression. I was still kind of working, but when you coming from, and my head wasn't big. I didn't get big headed. It's just that when you coming from a certain level, now you big in your city. So I mean, it literally went from the longer you hear it, the more you at basically no. I didn't want to be the normal. I wanted to be big dog. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be what we was in LA.
The longer you hear, the more you normalize.
Yeah. So it's like we came to the city when we went clubbing a lot. It wasn't no paying for no getting in no club. We in there like it's us.
Right.
Ain't no paying for no drinks. It's us. Each month, like it went from. I remember like one time the security. I went to the front of the line. The security guard stopped me. Hey, bro, what you doing? I'm like trying to get in the Magic had to come. It just got harder and harder to the point where now I'm like, now I got to stand in the line. Now I got to stand in the back of the line. And so like after it went that far, that's when it really hit me like it's over. Like, and that's when I found out that when I look back in hindsight, everything was handed to us. Like it wasn't drive, it was because my dad kept us together.
Right.
It wasn't nobody trying to take initiative to do anything. So when we had nothing, it showed. Now I'm the only one working, and I got people saying, "Man, you need to have more confidence in yourself," because everybody else ain't. And if the fellas looking at this, man, I can't speak nothing but the truth. I mean, I got love for the fellas, but I just got to tell the truth. There was no drive from nobody in the group. You had one person kind of recording, but it was. I think that I don't know. I just know it wasn't unified. Everything he done was for himself. It was never like he. I remember one time I asked him, let's get a production company together, because I had my pops one. He eventually got me a place and a studio, so I had a studio. I asked him to let's do some production together because he was doing production. Basically, I didn't get no answer, so it was kind of a invisible wave off.
Right.
So we just never worked, and we hardly ever, even to this day, we hardly ever talk to each other. That started from when we got back, though. We got back in 2000. What I got real depressed, but it was some blessings in that still kept me up. But so we in early 2000, well, at the end of 99 came back. 2000 I got married. 96 is when Polo was born. So and then 98 I had another daughter. So they were,
So
so it
Polo
was
was
some,
born, you were.
huh?
You was on the road when Polo was born.
That's another thing. We was doing Do You Want to Ride video. And yeah, that's one of the regrets of my life. Not because I was doing a video, but it's just who I am. Like,
Right.
I did that, although it was the work I was doing. My kids are more important than all that. Like, I don't care I don't care what the music, I don't care what it brought. Them kids, when they came, they was something. It was different. Like my kids, when I missed it, I came back. When I came and saw them on the couch, I was in. I looked at them for about like 15 whole seconds before my wife was like, "You can go and pick them up."
Right.
Like I was in shock. Like
Right.
it was different, man. And so I hate that I missed that. But when we got back, man, the music was still heavy on me. Although the home was a blessing. And like I said, the longer we were here, the more things it went below normality. Like I didn't even feel like the city like even respected us in the music way no more. Like it went below normal. So man, I remember one time, man, I just kind of felt like if I can't do this, I ain't want to be here. So I ain't have enough guts to like shoot myself.
Right.
So one day, man, I was out and I tried to drink as much as I can so I can wreck, but not meaning. Like I couldn't kill myself with my own,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I tried to drink so much that,
You black out.
yeah, that I couldn't control myself if I was gonna kill myself. And the only thing I hit was the darn mailbox. So, you know what I'm saying?
Thank God for that. Thank God for that.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Considering.
yeah. And I wasn't being, you know what I'm saying, who I was supposed to be at the crib because I was just too depressed. I was out looking for this love and attention that wasn't the right place for me to look at. You know what I'm saying? So it just got to a point. Like after that, I just said, you know what, man, I'm just going. It got to the point where and wasn't nowhere else to look but to God. So I start visiting churches, just wanting to go to church and just like, cause I knew I couldn't help myself. Like I was at a point nobody could help me, not even my family. Like I was at a point I felt like nobody could help me but God.
Right.
So I just started going to church, and I was visiting churches too, and ended up back at the church I grew up with and grew up at, and uh, back to the piano lessons. They couldn't keep no piano player out there because it was in Dewberry, which is kind of, it ain't really, just going to church, people don't want to go that far. And it's a small church. So I was there one time and they was doing offering, and I was like, it's too quiet. And I just went up to the piano and I just started playing a little music so when they doing offering,
Right.
just won't be so quiet. Well, that right there led up to me playing for them about 20 some years. So back to the piano lessons I didn't want to take.
Right.
It all
Giving you some
did
purpose.
a big circle.
Giving you some purpose.
Yeah. And that's the only thing that helped. All that what I'm telling you straight up. I'm not this real. No, I love God. I believe in him because the strength he done showed me, I know. But I don't try to be real religious to folk. But what he done brought me through all that stuff, dog, you can't like that's the only thing that helped me. Cause I was really depressed over this music thing. I was looking back, man. I was like, man, I done turned down college.
Right.
I done I put everything in this. You know what I'm saying? That did nothing else matter. When that happened, I was mad I was really mad at them. I was disappointed because I'm the youngest. So I never was led because it was never no. It was basically I was the leader, not the lead singer, but the leader.
Right.
That ain't what I needed. like you know how they say you supposed to you ain't it ain't really safe to be the smartest dude in your crowd.
Right.
You can't learn, and that's what it was like. So I was mad. Like I'm like, man, why is nobody like encouraged? Like it just got to the point where man, everybody was alone their way in the streets doing what they want to do, not progressing nothing, you know. And I just stayed mad at them a long time, man, until I just like I said, you know what? Certain things in life started happening. I said, man, you know, I could be stuff can be real messed up. You know, I look at that, then I look at my family. I start looking at it. Now I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I can't keep looking, I can't move forward if I keep looking backwards.
Right.
And it was hard to move forward because I ain't gonna lie, it's like a relationship. Like, even though they were showing me that they wasn't the drive was gone, I didn't want to leave it. Like I wanted them to
Right.
come on board so bad. I went way too long waiting on it. But you know what I'm saying? I had to come to grips with it, and it is what it is, and I still got love for them dudes, man. You know, I mean, everybody got their reasons. Everybody got life happening to them. Am I disappointed still? Yeah, but love ain't gone, and I'm not holding nobody, you know, responsible for in my life. I
Right.
mean, you know, I'm not holding them responsible for my life. If I decide to stay there, it's my fault. You know, so yeah, that's what happened after that deal. I ran up 2000. I finally, after years, decided because I had written songs that for years I was wanting them to still come. Let's do it. I said, cause we did another album that my dad paid for. Yeah, so my dad, man, he paid for a second album. Man, that in my opinion it wasn't taken serious. Everybody, it wasn't no appreciation. It wasn't people didn't try their best. You had um, people forcing music that they produced that may not even been the best, but they wanted their. It was just a big mess, man, and that pretty much that was kind of like the. Although I still tried to maintain, I knew then that like man, and plus like stuff people were seeing, they you know they was I was getting told like man, you may need to just do something yourself like. And so songs I wrote, I just wound up coming out with my own album for in 2017.
Right.
and that's what CDs was in, and sold every CD that I had printed, and I feel like man, people respect you and support you when you show respect, and your attitude in life is everything. Like even people that didn't know how I sound was buying it. Like people was just doing it because of how I treat people. Like it was your persona, your attitude, how you treat others. Man, that can really that's why that phase, your attitudes determine your altitude. Now the longer you live, the more you realize that's some real stuff,
It
man.
is.
But and
It
that's
is.
now I just do music, man. I just do it. I don't even do it for the business. Like
You do it for yourself.
I do it for myself. I don't even. If you see me put something online, it's just because I feel like doing a song.
Ain't
I
no
write
wrong with that.
songs. It's therapeutic to me.
Ain't nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
One last question concerning the group.
Mhm.
In 2012, a songwriter by the name of Ernest Lee Strotter sued Usher over allegations that he plagiarized the song "No More Pain" uh, off y'all's "Back to the Real" album.
No More Pain, which I wrote.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I wrote that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a setup.
But they claim that Usher plagiarized that song with the song "Burn."
I don't believe that.
You didn't believe it? I didn't hear any comparison enough.
They actually had a version. See, it those melodies are like kind of like general melodies of a lot of songs. They don't like they formatted the same way, but it's not the same sound. Like somebody had the songs combined online that you saw uh, the similarity to it, but it's just like no way, like no way. See, we didn't put two and two together even with that. Like they even sent us to what you call that court when we had to go to court, but it wasn't in court. It's when you in a you basically meet in a room. Basically, it's a court session. Basically, you ask questions, but it wasn't in a courtroom. I forgot what you call it. But anyway, they called us.
Was it pre-trial?
It was pre-trial. It was pre-trial, but it was called something because it didn't even go to trial because they settled with them.
Oh.
So basically, that made me mad because that's my song.
Right.
Like that story was about my sister when she went. Like I literally wrote that. I based that song. I wrote the whole song based off what my sister went through.
Right. You testified and everything, right? Stating that you wrote the song. And...
Yeah, and they were asking like the time frame of Usher and Mama managing us.
See,
So
I didn't. Yeah, see.
Yeah, so like what those guys did was put two and two together. Mind you, that goes back to our management. We didn't register the song and publish it when we got done with it.
Y'all didn't. They published it.
They took it straight
under a
out
whole
there.
nother name.
Yeah, and so by the time they sued, I didn't know what happened until later on. They didn't want to. That lawsuit was so petty that labor didn't want to go through that, so they set up $500,000 with them of my song.
Wow.
The guitar player and the keyboard player took that song and registered it under their name.
Music industry, man.
Yep.
Sadly, December 27, 2022, the unthinkable what happened. Your parents, both your mother and your father you spoke of so highly in this interview. I said both your mother and your father will be involved in a terrible car crash. After being struck by a 20-year-old driver going 95 miles an hour, your father will pass away on the scene, and your mother, sadly, she would succumb to her injuries 6 days later.
Yep.
First off, my condolences even to this day. What was your mourning process like? What was your healing process like? And where are you at now?
Man, I get weak every time I hear that story. I don't think my grieving started to after the funeral. I was too shocked for. I mean, I was on the road in Atlanta in the 18-wheeler when my brother called me and told me he told me my mom, dad had been in a wreck, and my dad had passed, and my mom was in critical condition and she may not make it. It's blurry. Like I just started hollering. I just pulled the truck over and and um and called my wife, just hollering, man. And she sent somebody to come get me. And I went to the hospital, man, and I never saw my daddy no more until the body in the casket. And my mom was in there with all this stuff on her, and then she ended up catching COVID on her last day, and we had to put on this stuff, and so two of us went in there, then all of us was in there. We were talking to her, and we left out the room. We told her we loved her, and the moment the last person left out the room, she started breathing. It's like she waited to hear from all three of us one last time, man. And man, my life ain't been the same since I just be 100. It's hard for me to tell a story, but it's part of my life.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's different. And I even today, it's been a couple of years, but I gotta I had to be lifted up, because I don't want to be this guy that have sadness to people that's around me. Like, I couldn't help it at first, but a lot of people don't even know, man. I didn't even know that I was depressed. I didn't even know I lost weight. I just knew my appetite went. I lost 30 pounds, not even knowing until I went to the doctor on a regular visit. I knew I had got skinny at first, but I lost weight, man, because I wasn't eating. Um, I wasn't talking to nobody. I wasn't calling nobody. And it's still rough, man, but it's a process of day by day learning how to live with pain, because pain don't go nowhere. It's just learning how to move with it. And Mother's Day was yesterday. It ain't nothing is Christmas ain't the same. My birthday ain't like things happen in my life that sometimes it ain't. You don't realize, like, some things that happen ain't for you to call your homeboy, ain't for you to call your girl. Sometimes you just want to call your mama.
That's
Tell her.
right.
That part still happened. Like, man, my mom was the sweetest. Man, everybody that knew my mom, they'll tell you she's probably, if she wasn't the sweetest person they knew, she was one of the sweetest person.
Right.
One of the sweetest people. So the only thing I think about that kind of lift me a little bit is that I couldn't see one of them living without the other. They was together so long, I couldn't see one living without the other. But yeah, that was rough. That's still, I still deal with that. But I'm coping. I'm coping better.
But man, hang in there. Hang in there, because I guarantee you that's what they want you to do. Is hang in there. Again, my condolences. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine, especially losing both at the same time. I couldn't imagine. Was there any type of resentment or hate that you had to process through when it came to the driver who's driving the car that killed your parents?
Um, I don't know if I can see that guy right. I mean, the thing about it is the first court date he had, it was no, like, it's like, didn't show no, it was like he really didn't care. Like, he didn't show no, like, I don't know if he just not understanding that he took both parents, but he didn't show, like, no, what's the word I'm looking for? He didn't show no remorse. Like, we didn't, me and my sister didn't go. My brother went, and my brother said it was real hard to go, like, real hard to be there, because it was no remorse. It was like like it's a game, and it's probably best for me not to even comment on that.
Understood. Understood. Uh, Before we move on, give me a positive memory involving your parents that you'll never forget.
Um, going to Disney World, man, just I mean, and I am thankful for them. Like, man, I mean, I guess everybody should feel this way, but I feel like that I couldn't ask for no better parents. Like I always kept me and my brother in sports. Kept, like, even with the piano lessons, I didn't want to take piano lessons, but think about it, we was involved with so much stuff that we couldn't get in trouble,
Right.
because and where we stayed at and who my friends were, I could have easily got in trouble. Like, but I was so busy being involved with football, basketball, music, like even church. Like my mom, man, when we was little, my mom used to read us Bible stories at night.
Right.
You know, my mama was the type of mama that played gospel all the time while she in the kitchen. My mama didn't work, my dad worked all the time. My mom played gospel songs every time she cooked. My mom be the type of mom that got happy in the kitchen. Like that's how she was, man. But just, I mean, I can name a lot. It was all positive. Like the way that they was in our life is so much like just the trips to Six Flags, the the it's so much, man. And then I mean, as religious as my mama was, she had 3 kids, and I remember one time, I think I was about 10, and I was the middle child, so I was, if anybody, I'm the one gonna get in trouble.
Right.
And I had never heard my mama curse, and I forgot. I just kept running through the house, and I forgot what I did, but she just got tired of me running, making noise, and I knocked the glass off the kitchen. We had a TV in the kitchen. I knocked the glass off. She used to love Oprah. Looked at Oprah every day, and I knocked the glass off the kitchen table, and it broke. She said, "Get your ass in there, and sit down." Man, like I never heard her curse in my life, and that's probably the only time I heard her. Like then, and man, when she did that, I said, "Oh, hey, I didn't hesitate by going to sit down in, but it just tripped me out to hear her curse, man." But man, it's so much it's a lot of positive things, man. But yeah, that's just one of the things. I mean, even though it's cursing, it's just
Right,
funny.
of course,
It's just
yeah.
funny. That's why I
No,
said
that's
it.
awesome. Young Polo.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna touch on him a little bit. We're not gonna go too far in depth with it, but
Okay.
we were remiss not to speak on him. He did call in earlier.
Mm-hmm. My guy.
Early this year, we brought the news back in January on our Instagram page that young Polo had been arrested
Mm-hmm.
and sentenced
Mm-hmm.
to 10 years in prison. Which, much like everybody else, it took me by surprise. Uh, can you give us a update, a status on his, of course, his
The
sentence,
situation.
his situation, and him in general?
Yeah, so at the present point, I mean, well, it's a drug case. Everybody, that knows about it knows that at the present point is that it's the situation is still at the opportunity to appeal. So it's still, although he's got a sentence, it's still things going on that I got to watch what I say. But
Of course, of course.
he's keeping his head up. He's like you heard him. He's he knows that until he's out, he's taking it day by day because he got to do what he got to do. And it's and in Tennessee, a 10-year sentence with a state case, you can appeal in 3 years. With good behavior, could be lesser. So we just hoping and trying for the best in this situation. He's, you know, people like Hardaway 1K and Shad and Adam and Trap Blow, and it's people that's been coming through the house all the time, and he just had a kid. He just had a little girl,
Right.
and we had a baby shower because she was born a couple of months early. So we was gonna have a baby. She was due on my birthday,
Okay.
June 5th, but she had a couple of months early, and the baby gets out the hospital tomorrow.
Okay. That's what's up.
So we had an early baby shower. All of them came through. Man, they've been coming through. They've been true friend, true brothers to him, to him, and keeping him, making sure he's straight.
Man,
Like,
that's what's up.
Like I said, they come to the house numerous times, make sure he got what he need. He got what he need. They brought a lot of baby clothes and baby strollers. Like they been really like, you don't know who your real ones are until you go through things like that. And man, they just been showing. Like I sit up and watching, stuff like that through hard times can do your heart good. So
Right. Well,
he's staying up.
undoubtedly, the group of guys you named have nothing but love for Polo, and
Yeah,
he knows
man.
that, and
It
they're
shows,
very
man.
vocal about it.
Yeah,
Uh,
man.
that's awesome. You said so. As of right now, like, of course, you said this. It's still a process.
Mhm.
Does he have to wait 3 years before he can file a appeal, or?
And I don't know. I think the opportunity to appeal. If I'm not mistaken, I think you only got a certain amount of time to do that. Now I could be
Okay.
wrong about that, but uh, I think you got a certain amount of time to do that, and it's not. I don't think it's the whole time. I think it's
Okay.
just
Okay. So you have possibly that window
yeah.
from now to 3 years to do it.
Yeah, and when that
Okay.
opportunity over, then that's when it is what it is.
Okay.
But until then, it's while there's opportunity,
So right now he has an active appeal
uh,
that you can speak
the
on. If not, it's
the
fine.
the it's being the appeal haven't started. I think things are being worked on
Okay. Okay.
to have everything in order.
I
When
got you. I
that's
got you.
that's the best I can say that.
I got you. We'll leave that right
You know.
there. From a personal standpoint, to watch Hardaway 1K come home here recently,
Hmm.
uh, and like we spoke earlier off camera. You said Hardaway 1K is like a second son to you.
Yeah.
So to see him go to prison, come home, and then Polo go in, what does that do to you?
And excuse my language, it fucked me up. Um, I know Polo's heart. Like, I don't care what people see, I know his heart. And everybody that's around him know his heart. So to sit in that courtroom and see him walk to the back after they announced that much of a sentence took me right back to the hurt I had with my parents.
Imagine.
I don't even think I think that I made that pain made I can't even really say what hurt worse. Just to know that you know I ain't even looking at the parole. I'm looking at the time they gave. I ain't even so my mind. I ain't even looking at the possibilities and all that. I'm looking at the worst, and
You look at the right now.
yeah, and then I'm looking at and it's my only boy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's and I know he gonna see this, and I don't want him to feel bad, like you know, but yeah, it was painful, like because I know his heart again, and I know that he he if you respect him, he'll double respect you. You know what I'm saying? You look after him, he gonna double look after you. Like the people around him know that. Like he got so much love to show people. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is respect him. And and just like any other man, you cross him. But as far as his heart, that ain't the place. That ain't the place for him. And yeah, so that shit hurt. Like it fucked me up. But people like Hardaway and a couple more other people. They tell me you know, things to let me know it's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Because they know they know how much pain I was in.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and like I said, Hardaway them they came to the court. Like they've been at it much. They came to the trial. They came to you know, even before they announced the sentencing, like he would, you know, because it was a couple of weeks that we was in court. Man, we, you know, Hardaway come eat with us. You know, I mean, we just going through the whole thing, you know, you know, it was a moment, you know. And when they announced that, like, man, you know what I'm saying, when they announced when they that was, and like, the liberation took a minute. It took like, usually when, you know, when you're gonna be guilty, like they had that 30 minutes, hour, you know, 2 hours. This went on the first day for 6 hours, 6, 7 hours. Second day for 4 or 5 hours. So it's looking like, okay, this may be okay.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying, can't go that way.
But it's not over. Keep your head up. It's not over. I heard him. He sounds in good spirits.
Yeah,
We're gonna facilitate some type of interview with him. You know,
yeah,
don't go back down that hole though.
yeah.
Seriously, I cut the camera off. Seriously, don't go back down that hole. The last thing he needs
Yeah,
is the type of news you received, and he can't even get to you.
yeah,
So don't go down that hole. You got a lot of strong men around you, and some who's been through what he's going through now.
yeah,
Listen, if all the way 1K can tell you it's gonna be all right, take that man for his word.
yeah.
Honestly, you don't know me from a can of paint, but I'm telling you,
I feel you.
take that man for his word. It ain't over. It ain't over. I hate to end the interview this way, but no, I don't actually.
It's part of my life.
I don't actually, because I'm asked this question, and this question is the most important question in this interview. What's next for you? As we progress to 2025, what's next for you? Because you ain't gonna go back in that hole. You ain't
Nah,
gonna back down. What's next for you?
you know, I man, if all this stuff didn't teach me nothing, it taught me how to live with pain. Like
Okay,
like it's too much. Like I can't be I can't be in my position and go there. Like I gotta learn. I gotta man up. I gotta muscle up because I got people that need the man I am. I got
correct,
daughters and wife that need the
correct.
man I am, you know, as much as I need them. But they need the man who they always knew, that raised them, that's been married 25
There
years.
you go.
So man, God put that stuff in my life to go through stuff like that. Like, because that's what holds me up. Even when I feel like, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, what's next? Like, so, you know, the last 4 years I had a trucking company, but what I did last year, I had to let that go because that was now mind you, when my mom and daddy left, I didn't have enough strength to get in that truck no more. Like, so my trucking company the bills didn't stop, but I couldn't work, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't work, you know, I didn't have enough strength to stay on that road. Being on
Right.
the road would
Yeah,
make it worse.
you could get in
I
that truck
tried.
with just you and your mind.
Yeah, I tried,
I got you.
and I had to come back because I wasn't ready. And so, what's next? I I just got a straight job, and see that's another thing. The job I got is like that's a blessing. Um, and I still do my music.
That's what's up.
So, man, I'm on. Like I said, I'm and that's what I mean. Like, you know, he still like I still got things to look up for. My what's next for me is to make sure my son be straight when he come out.
There you go.
And to live my life just working, respecting, and being a man that I need to be, and letting life be life because I can't stop it.
That's real.
You know,
That's real.
and that's pretty much all and just walk it. That's all I can do.
That's real. Is there anything you would like to add to this interview before we get out of here?
Um, yeah, man, I appreciate everybody because it'd be a lot of people wondering. You know, I don't try to show, but a lot of people can see like that messed me up about my mom and daddy.
Of
So
course.
I just want people that sees this to know I'm good. You know, I have my moments, but I'm good. I got I got a position in this world that I gotta continue to hold up, and I got a a house that I gotta be a man of. So I'm good. I'm gonna have my moments, but I'm good. I gotta stay solid and grounded because I gotta make sure my son's straight when he come out. So
Right.
I'm good. I want to shout out, my fam, my wife, my kids. I want to shout out my group real tight. I know I said some stuff that probably, y'all ain't gonna feel good about, but I still love y'all. I just told the truth. Um, Shout out to man, y'all make sure y'all subscribe to C&P Network for real, cause this, you know, support is everything. Like, and if y'all doing something, y'all gonna want support. This man right here got a building platform, and especially Chattanooga people. Now, everybody else fall in line too outside the city. But me personally, I want to give a shout out to people that I know. But I want to give a shout out to this man, this man and his network, C&P
I appreciate it.
Network, and y'all subscribe to it, man. And I just want to see him build. Everybody who I love, they know it. I don't have to shout everybody out. I ain't got to shout everybody out that I love, that I show love to. They know it. But so right now, I'm taking my shout out time to shout out this man and his network,
I appreciate it, bro.
C&P Network. And
We're
that's
gonna do
that's
this
how
again.
I
We're gonna do
end
this
that.
again. We're gonna do this again. Most definitely.
For
Then we're
sure,
gonna bring you
man. I
back.
appreciate you inviting me, man.
Yeah, for
Really.
sure, for sure. If anybody want to get in touch with you on social media, how can they look you up?
At Reg Long on Instagram, or at Reg Long. I don't really be on X that much, but and Reginald Long on and make sure the pictures is me, because there's a couple of Reginald Longs, but Reginald Long on Facebook. I ain't promoting nothing right now. I be posting stuff, but that's my social media. So if you want to follow me there. And be looking, keep Polo in your prayers. You
For
know what I'm
sure,
saying?
for sure,
And support his music wherever you see it
for
on
sure.
YouTube. Young
YouTube,
Polo.
Spotify, Apple
Yeah,
Music.
yeah,
You Google it,
yeah,
it's there.
yeah. And shout out to again Hardaway,
Shout out Hardaway 1K.
1K. Shout out to Shy. Shout out to man. I hate to leave people out that's been showing love. If I left your name out, it's the charge to my head, not my heart, because you know, I really appreciate y'all. I appreciate everything. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. That's what's up. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. Uh, you officially been verified. I am Cornell the Shooter. This is the C&P Network, and we out of here.